Hi everyone, Joe here and welcome back to another vlog. It's been a while, isn't it? Yeah, it has. So I've been told a couple of times it's been a while. So, welcome back. I mean, you've not been anywhere, nor have I, but we're back and that's what counts. So, where are things at? What's going on? Where have I been? Am I okay? How am I doing? All those kinds of questions I imagine you've got going through your head. I know because you've been asking them in the comments section. Well, I'm still here, number one. Number two, how are things? Last time we left it, I had newly discovered bone mets and it was crap. We had found out that there was also my liver, and I was having a scan to check to see whether or not that was progressing or how quickly that was going to progress to see whether or not we needed to have any follow-up treatment on it. Good news there. And this is where the good news stops, by the way. The good news there is that the liver met is stable. If you don't know what I mean when I say mets or met, metastases, when I'm talking about where the cancer has spread from the initial site of being the thyroid to, obviously it's gone into my lungs, ribs, pelvis, liver, spine. So all the great places, all those things that you can live without. And the good news is the liver, like I say, is stable. It's maintained its size over this kind of, it was basically a 7-week period that I had between the one scan result and another scan result. That's good. That's what we want. We want stable. Obviously shrinkage is better, but stable is realistically the best that we can normally imagine and normally hope for under these circumstances. Now, I did mention the good news stopped, and this is where it turns from good to bad. So I've had a nodule in my left thyroid bed that's been sitting there not really doing anything for months, a year almost, and it's suddenly started growing. It's now up to, it's kind of grown about a centimetre over the last couple of months, and that's been cause for concern. So we've got some things that we need to do and we need to take care of to work out what we do with this. I'm all for getting it scooped out, get rid of it, get it done, don't want it anymore. There's not supposed to be anything in there anyway. You know, I've had a total thyroidectomy and I've had a neck dissection. I'm not supposed to have anything in there. Get rid of it. So that's where I am. Now, there are risks involved, which is why they want to make sure it isn't something that's targetable chemically first. Now, what we're doing is we are... Oh my goodness, I've got another cat that takes a crap when I'm recording vlogs. How's that happened? Like Clive used to do it, now Alfred's doing it, and this is ridiculous. But right, so what we need to do is we need to do a sample of it. So I'm going in for an FNA tomorrow. Oh, it's Wednesday the 6th of April, which seems relevant from when I say tomorrow, because that'll be a Thursday, and then, you know, I say tomorrow, but I might not upload this today. Probably will, but I might not. But yeah, so I'm going in for an FNA, and that is guided under ultrasound. So basically, you have an ultrasound. They go in with a needle. FNA stands for fine needle aspiration, but they have said core sample interchangeably. So I don't know what size needle we're going to be using. But the good news is I've had a little bit of a break off of my cabozantinib. That basically means that I've been feeling a lot better. I've had a lot more energy, which is good, and food stayed in because I've had a really rough stomach. Anyone that's been on any form of TKI, tyrosine kinase inhibitor, will know that it gives you a dodgy stomach. That's it. It's guaranteed. It's guaranteed to upset your stomach. And I spent way too much time on the toilet last week than I care to even think about, talk about, or elaborate on. So, the break's been nice, but the reason for the break is due to increased risk of bleeding. Now, where I've had my neck dissection, there's a lot of scar tissue in there, which does mean it might be a little bit more difficult to get through, as well as there's some things that aren't there that normally are structurally wise. For example, my jugular's been removed, and I don't have the vocal cord, the nerve that goes to my left vocal cord. My vocal cord's partially paralysed. Those that have been following for a while will know. So I'm doing like a major download of information for you guys today, and then I'm going to have another video which I'm going to record pretty much after this one, to talk more about emotional stuff and the way I've been feeling, because it's a very different topic compared to these information dumps, where it's like, well, what's going on? Where are you? How are you doing? And as opposed to the how are you doing? So we're doing the how are you doing in the next video. So that's going to be very psychological, emotional stuff, and then I'm going to play computer games online after. So that's going to be my bring myself down a bit, pick myself back up again. Yeah, be fine. Also, we have changed the blood thinner that I was on. I was on Fragmin, or dalteparin sodium, where you have to do subcutaneous injections, so constantly jabbing myself in the stomach. Thankfully, that is now over. I don't have to do that anymore. I have now moved on to something called a Pixaban, and this is due to there being more information available on drug interactions. Now, there is some interaction. Cabozantinib does affect some enzymes in the body. Pixaban relies on some of those enzymes, apparently, or something similar. Didn't ask questions, wasn't given the information, have worked it out on my own. So there are some interactions, but not efficacy or safety. There's no compromise of those two. So that's good, which means that I'm okay to have that and not have to do these injections, which 2 years. 2 years I've been injecting myself with blood thinner in my stomach. The amount of scar tissue that I have across my belly, and obviously I've lost a lot of weight, as everyone knows. During the course of being on TKIs, I've lost a lot of weight. Now, I went from being nice and chubby to having plenty to grab hold of, where I could just be like, whoa, get in there and go for it, to not having really much at all. I'm not going to show it because I'm pale and pasty and it's horrible and no one wants to see that. But it's I'm no longer covered in bruises, which is nice. Which is it's a positive thing there. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of where things are. We've not got much to talk about apart from that. Obviously, I've been dealing with the fallout from knowing that this is growing and there is treatment, more treatment on the horizon, different from what I have. What we're hoping for from the FNA, like I said, is that some form of mutation is identified. If I have any targetable mutation, it means I can come off of a broad spectrum TKI and go on to a targeted one, a more targeted one, which is positive because then it means it has less side effects, and I really could do with the less side effects. There's a lot of things that you do and a lot of compromises you're willing to make for survival, and this is the one that I have been making for the last 2 years. I've been making the whether or not I can trust my bowel movements or not, and I've been kind of making that as a compromise what I can eat. I've been eating mainly just plain chicken, rice, fruit and vegetables, some grains in there as well, stuff like a lot of porridge, stuff like that. So really working on getting calories in has been a really tough thing to deal with, and been really difficult due to the soreness of the mouth caused by the cabozantinib, meaning that I can't actually always have food that tastes very nice. I like spicy food. I like food with flavour. I like a good chili. I like a Nando's. It's one for the Brits. And I said good Nando's. I didn't say the C word in there. And don't do it. And I like curry as well. I like our Indian food. I like Chinese food. I like all kinds of food, but I can't trust any of them. I had to have low fat due to that again irritating my bowels. So it's been a tough couple of months, a really boring couple of months palate wise, which means that when I do have something to eat, it sometimes doesn't taste the way I remember it. And no, I've not had COVID, just so you know. But yeah, that's been an interesting one. But yeah, I think that's pretty much where we're up to with the physicality of things, with disease progress, treatment progress, all that kind of stuff, which is good. I think overall that's good. Also, we've discovered the difficulty of having a echocardiogram done, which is essentially an ultrasound of the heart. There are a couple of different ways you can do it, and I have mentioned this before. I have a condition called pectus excavatum, which is actually pretty uncommon. It's about 1 in 1,000 people have it, and it's also, I mean, what we call sunken sternum, funnel chest, I think it's called different places. But yeah, so it's basically where your rib cage digs in. It's difficult to show exactly, but I've done a video about it on the channel before, called Pectus Excavatum and Body Goals, back when I used to work out a lot in pre-cancer. But yeah, there's some. You see me in my pants as well, so if you want to know what I look like when I was buff and in pants, then there, go for it. I shouldn't have said that. Should not have said that. But there. So that's been an interesting one, because it means they can't get a full picture of my heart to check on its health. Everything they can see, which is almost all of it, but they can't view they have, like, well, they say 4 windows they view through. They call them windows. One is from the side, one is from the bottom, then they have from the top, and then they just have from this side as well. And I can't be seen from this side because my rib cage goes like that. It's an M shape if you were to look at it in profile, and my heart is like here. So they're going in, ultrasounds come in, heart's there, rib cage, and it's just getting a lot of reflection off of the off my ribs, my sternum, that's the heart is sat behind. So that causes a problem with that. But then also where my chest goes down and it flares out at the bottom of the rib cage, and this is a pretty common thing with people with Pectus excavatum, comes out and you've got a little bit of a belly, kind of where your solar plexus is, so that's higher up than your heart would be. So it means when they then try and target that, so you've got, once again, we're here, this is I should have pictures for this really. You've got your chest, when they turn it sideways, it goes down and then up, like that, down and up. And they try and view in this way, but they can't because they have to angle down to look into the body, but your heart is actually not there. So they can't, because they're looking for this negative space in the middle of your chest that isn't there. So that means I'm restricted to these 2 views, which is from the top and from the side, and they can see enough to recognise that my heart is in good health. There's no signs of any atrophy, valves are good, and all kind of stuff like that. And the reason why I've been having that is because cabozantinib can actually damage your heart, as can all the other treatments that I've been on previously. There's some damage that can be done, which is obviously something of a concern, and the last thing you want to do is be keeping you alive one way but killing you another. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who are against conventional treatments because of this reason, but it's not as barbaric as just simple chemo. So it really is, it's a lot more targeted, so it keeps things minimally damaging, I would say. Yeah, minimally damaging for what it could be. But right, I've spoken much longer than I've meant to be honest, for this. But that's where things are. That is where things are. I don't think there's anything else that I've got to add into it. I'm trying to think if there's anything. Is there anything major? No, there's not. When I get the results, I will probably update you with them at some point. New videos every now and then. Not weekly, that's for sure. But yeah, I will give you an update when I have an update. It's going to take a couple of weeks for me to get the histology back and have a look, because it's quite involved, because they're doing genetic testing on it, so it will take a while. And then once we've had that back, we'll know what we're doing next. Like I say, I'm down for surgery, but if we have targetable mutations, then it means that there's a drug that I can potentially go on for that, depending if there is a mutation that has a drug that corresponds to it. And that's a weird hope. I've never hoped to have a different type of cancer before, but here we are doing it and hoping for a mutation, something targetable, a weak point. That's what we're after. But there. So, if you've made it this far, well done. It's been 13 minutes of rambling, 14 minutes of rambling. Blimey, it's getting longer by the second. So, leave me a comment, and today we're going to say it. I did say we're going to say it. Cheeky Nando's in the comment. Cheeky Nando's, because I had Nando's for dinner last night, and it was fantastic to have something with some flavour, and it had no negative repercussions involving my bowels whatsoever. So that's all good. But yeah, Cheeky Nando's in the comment. But right, I will see you in the next video, which for me is going to be in a couple of minutes. For you guys will be hopefully about a week or so. So I'm going to say once again, thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, share, might help people, you never know. And I will see you all in the next one. Okay, bye.